So I get questions about developing the skill of psychic communication, intuition, and mediumship. And really, I'm not the only person. This is not just my tent at the freak show. This is a skill and an ability that any of us can learn to use and work with, and at any level. I love to encourage people to develop their skills and to work with them on the level that I do. But if your intuition works to help you find a parking place, or when to make the perfect phone call, or to listen for a call when it's coming to you, um, use it for that. Use it for what works for you. It's a very personal and intimate journey, and it's a beautiful one if you decide to take it on. One of the first things that you will need to have is an interest and a willingness to receive messages. And you got to get that it's not going to come through like a television broadcast or a phone call, for most of us anyway, but it is information that you can develop a sensitivity to. And the next part of that is tuning into what your personal frequency is. Some people get what I call a download, which is a full feature movie that just drops into your experience that you could talk forever on, like you were just there, and it just drops into your reality. Others of us will feel a presence next to us. We will hear voices. We will get scents that are familiar. And as each one of those things comes through, there's information that comes with it. And so it's just tuning into the frequency that makes the most sense for you. Where that leads to next is the area of practice. And so it's a good thing to develop a time frame, or what I call creating office hours to communicate with spirit. And this is, whatever works for you, whether when you're in the shower in the morning, when you're meditating, when you're driving to work, whether you're sitting still, sitting with pen and paper and doing some automatic writing, whatever you choose, again, whatever medium or means by which you choose to receive messages, you can do. Again, it's a very personal experience, and I recommend practicing with a few different things so that you can kind of figure out what makes sense to you, which medium is easier than another, which one is clear, which one is foggy and you don't get anything. But practicing and playing with the different ways and methods so that you can get an idea of, what it feels like to receive a message, what it feels like to receive a connection. And when people are starting out, I recommend keeping a journal or a notebook so that you can track things, and then going back and making notes again about, okay, what came through, what happened, what symbolism showed up. Part of your personal frequency and part of your personal mode of communication will involve symbols, archetypes, volumes, colors, any kind of impression and imagery. And then the next part of it, which usually is the toughest part for all of us, is to trust the process. Trust the information that comes through, because it doesn't come through, printed and bound in a book, or across the television, or in a traditional means of communication. Doesn't mean that it's not a legitimate means. It just is not something that you're familiar with. And so when you get into a mode of understanding some of the symbols, you want to trust the information that comes through to you. It's a tough part. It's a really fun part, though. And that's where keeping the journal, tracking things, tracking feedback, going back and looking at it, reviewing it, it's a big part of reinforcing this trust process. It's so much fun. It's so enlightening. It just expands the universe just infinitely. It's amazing the level and the dimension through which the spirits communicate and the things that you begin to understand through the process. And if you want to use it to find a great date for Saturday night, or the perfect parking place, or when to turn left or right, use it for that. It's beautiful. Again, it's yours, it's personal. If you have any interest about understanding it more, I do regular sessions and gatherings where we discuss the subject. I do one-on-one coaching and training, and I also do private readings if you just want to let me bring the messages through. I love to do that. Find more information on my website at Enchanted Eye,